Supernatural, superpowers, Star Wars, Harry Potter, smoking blasters, flaming wands. We're living in a fantasy world. Great minds, we're good against evil. Testing moral bounds as we expand our minds. Gluttons for Geekdom!
Welcome to a new episode of Gluttons for Geekdom. I am Bobby Deuce.
Nick James.
I'm Nick James. I mean, John.
Were you doing the copycat earlier when you were texting?
I was?
Well, I was like, hey, do you want to do some podcasting today? And you type back, do you want to do some podcasting today? I'm freaking out, man. You are freaking out, man.
Like we have two different groups for the Facebook messaging and shit, and I was shooting messages to both groups, and I mean we can both see the messages.
Yeah.
We can all see the messages in both groups and stuff because we're a part of both groups. But I see on my phone, I'm just seeing all these messages. I see John, and I was thinking that I said to the other group that's not Gluttons for Geekdom that I don't want this guy being a part of my active day. And then I get a message back. I get a message back from John. He's like, I want to be part of your active day. And I'm over here. I've already sent like tons of messages to Gluttons for Geekdom. And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I open up the thing and I'm just like, oh wait. I'm scrolling through the Gluttons for Geekdom. I was like, he never says that. What the fuck's going on here? It's funny though. It's a silly bit of just. A silly bit of life. A slice of life, people. Slice of life.
It's just pretty much geeking around.
Geeking
I
around.
really like that working title, so this is going to be the third time we do it. John watched Back to the Future, guys.
Yeah. It was fucking awesome.
It was friggin' good.
And then, like, I was watching Trailer Park Boys, like, a day or two after, like, one of the movies. Julian buys a DeLorean. And he's like, calm down, boys. We can't buy fancy stuff because we can't let them know that we're selling drugs. And there he goes driving a fucking DeLorean around the trailer park. It was great.
Yeah, I told you after we were done watching it, the amount of references that you'll now understand.
They're monumental.
Go up.
Monumental.
Yeah, especially if Seth MacFarlane makes it. So American Dad, Family Guy.
Yeah, but who likes Seth MacFarlane?
Yeah, you're not a Seth. Wow.
I mean,
There's a good chance that people just
Overrated.
actually...
I think he's overrated. It's not, like I've seen a few things he's put out. There's been a few funny skits. I'm not gonna lie, he has made me laugh.
he might be past his prime.
No.
No,
I love him.
You still stand by Family Guy?
Oh, hell yeah.
The last,
I mean, they're
I
still
stand
going.
by
Like
his
people like
movies as well.
early Family Guy. Like the last thing that I really, really enjoy by Seth MacFarlane is Ted.
Yeah. Second one wasn't bad. I really enjoyed Ted, though, and I love A Million Ways to Die in the West.
I didn't catch that one.
Well, that is one that I will say, watch that and tell me you didn't laugh.
Because like I said, like he has made me laugh. There were parts of Ted that I enjoyed, but it's just like for me it was overrated.
No, A Million Ways to Die in the West. It's really, I enjoy that.
I like Sarah Silverman, so
I do too. I didn't. She grew on me. I didn't like her.
Yeah,
start off
she's
with.
one of those chicks that actually
And then she was
grew on me too.
Penelope
she's the
Von
funniest.
Sweet.
yeah.
And then I fell in love with her because I love Penelope Von Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Love that character.
I love Wreck-It Ralph.
She was such a
love
bitch.
Wreck-It
She was
Ralph.
such a bitch in School of Rock, though.
Yeah. See, that's it. Same fucking
School of
path, man. Love that movie.
School of Cock.
But like, I still don't like. I don't hold that to her. Like, oh, there's Sarah Silverman, the bitch, because she was just a bitch in like School of Rock. But
Hold on.
Jennifer
Stop
Garner,
hitting that.
stop hitting that.
Yeah.
Stop
it's
hitting
gonna-
me. Stop
you touched
hitting
me
me.
too much. I've noticed that.
But Jennifer Garner, I just can't stand her. Ever since seeing her in like Daredevil, Elektra, and then Juno, I'm like, ugh, Jennifer Garner, go away.
yeah.
I mean, I watched the Sarah Silverman show, and that was actually pretty good. I liked every episode that I watched. It was funny.
No, she didn't get me when that was on. So
It took Wreck-It Ralph.
I saw it like
it took all the way up to Wreck-It Ralph. Oh no, Funny People. She makes a really funny joke about her lady bits, where she like is trying to describe, and she's like, it looks like a sad old man, and like she takes her own the lips on her face and like mushes them out and like puts her. She makes a really funny joke.
Wait, that's
about
the Adam
that.
Sandler movie?
Yeah, Funny People with him
I
and
saw
Seth
that like
Rogen.
once or twice.
I love that.
I remember
flick.
it being like long, but it was like pretty good.
It is long,
Yeah.
and the first half is really funny, and the second half is not. It's
And then Eric Bana shows up.
Exactly.
And he's like Australian.
exactly. It's a dramedy.
Can I just say that we're watching The Mummy right now? It's on silent, but we're just we're watching. I'm watching Brendan Fraser just fucking
Get
straight
beat in the balls.
Superman lift this dude up into the fan. Just like wow, Brendan Fraser is strong.
I want to get jacked like that.
I want to get
Now
jacked.
we're
I want
all
to get
watching
jacked
yeah.
by him.
This is one of the realities they granted him in Bedazzled.
That was well worth the wish. Yeah.
That was a great reference, by the way.
Speaking of references, let's go back to the future. Really quick question. Something that listeners can let us know about too. We'll post
We're
it
back to
while we're at
back
it.
to the present since.
Would you guys want to go back to 1986 or go to 2046?
Hoverboards, dude.
You what?
That's what they thought was going to
Hoverboards.
happen in 2016, though. And we still don't have those. We have those two wheels that roll around and catch on fire, but we don't have.
I mean, well,
Actual-
2046. Give it 30 more years, maybe.
That's true. But I just feel like.
We kind of have them now. That's just like all they have to do is just improve on the technology until it actually starts levitating off the ground.
Well, they do have one. I did see one, but that you have to ride it on copper. So they made a skate park out of
Oh.
copper, and they do have one, and it is loud and big, but it
I just imagine
it's
these people.
exactly what
I
you
might have
think.
seen that.
It's,
I just
it
imagine-
floats off the ground. And
I just imagine the sound coming off. It's just like children screaming.
the impression you did is actually a pretty accurate representation. It sounds like a saw cutting something it shouldn't.
That's
Or the-
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Or the TIE fighter noise.
Yeah. I bet that. Yeah, no, it's bad. But I think 86 would be fun just to go back because I
I
like
think I would do 86. Because what if,
like Hot Tub Time Machine is funny when they go back and they get to do all the references.
yeah, like all the music from the 80s, and what if like the future sucks dicks?
Yeah. I think especially too for the reason of Back to the Future, in terms of that movie, if I were to go back and do what he did in terms of meeting my dad, my mom, they literally wouldn't be together and would just about start meeting around 1986, 87. So I could get the actual Back to the Future experience, especially now. Like, if I waited just one more year, I can go back and, oh, hey, James, Denise. And just look at them like, I know what you guys.
I would try to hang out with my uncle. He'd be probably pretty cool.
Yeah.
If anything, if I did go back in time, I would try to do the Futurama thing. Do the nasty and the pasty. I did do the nasty and the pasty.
Yeah, 'cause
Becoming
he's
my-
his
becoming my own
uncle.
grandfather.
Yeah, his own grandfather. That's what it was. That's always on, man. Right when I get home from work, it's on 4:30 Comedy Central, and I literally watch the last one, and then what happens when they're done with the last one? Season 1, Episode 1, and it was really fucking cool just to see how far it came in terms of character development, animation. I mean, the more money they got, they didn't squander. It's a good-looking show at the very end, and it was cool to see that.
Futurama.
Yeah.
It's such a long running show, but it might be one of my favorite ones that's TV has ever come out with, as far
Yeah.
as like Futurama, Family Guy, The Simpsons, those types of shows.
Simpsons.
I would go anytime Futurama's on. I'm down for watching it.
Especially Beast with 1,000 Backs, that movie is on. And that's like a 4-part episode, 5-part. I'm just like, yes, I own this, but I never turned it on. But when it's on TV, I gotta watch it.
I
Very
never
strange.
watched much Futurama. Like, I remember when it was coming out, and I watched a lot of Simpsons coming up. You know, I even own like season 1 and 2 on DVD and shit like that. But I never got into Futurama like that. I remember disliking it, But maybe at that time I just didn't get it. You know, and I've watched a few episodes recently. Like, I was just in your room the other day watching one, and I was like, this is pretty good. Maybe I should give it a shot and watch from the beginning. Len really likes it. He says it's fucking awesome.
The thing, like as far as
Did it get canceled like a time or two, and they managed to bring it
it
back?
did, it did the
Definitely
it did the
once.
Family Guy thing where they
Was it twice? Family Guy was 3 times, I thought.
Really?
yeah where it was taken off the air and they came back
I
with
know
some
that,
like
yeah.
big
Fox didn't bring it
promotional
back.
thing?
Comedy Central did, because they started playing reruns, and they were like, holy shit, we're getting a lot of traction off this, and put it back. I don't know if that was the first or second time.
I have no idea when that actually happened.
Not too long ago.
But I mean, it
Yeah,
also
it did come back.
It also did the Family Guy thing where it's like everybody like just likes the original episodes more than the newer ones too.
I can't fully support that. I do agree with the fall of quality sometimes, but it's literally going from a 10 to at worst an 8.5. Like, even the worst
That's
Futurama
still pretty
episode
good.
is like the best. It's still a great fucking episode.
The whole thing about Futurama is that I just enjoy the show the way they do it. Just they're in the future, they're making future references. The characters are just fucking lovely, and that the whole what is it the whole ensemble thing of the entire show, just the way it works is I just love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's like Friends in the future.
total the total package.
Friends in the future.
Pretty much, you know, and Benders, and I also, the more that I found out about voice acting, something that I love.
Did you watch the thing that I showed you on Netflix about the voice actors?
Probably.
Oh damn, what was it called? Did you watch
I know
it?
that voice?
I think so.
I know that voice. Yes,
Yeah, no, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
that shit is awesome.
John
That is one
DiMaggio.
of the
John
best.
DiMaggio.
John DiMaggio
Like-
and Billy West are some of the greatest. And then I found out it was Katie Seagal, and I love Sons of Anarchy, and I was like, holy shit, that's cool too.
Married with Children.
But John DiMaggio is another guy. He is number 2 on my personal list of Joker voices, only seconded to Mark Hamill. He was
Yeah.
Joker in Under the Red Hood.
Under the Red
It's
Hood,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
He was good.
I like
I
that.
like John DiMaggio.
You're going to
Jake-
need some
Jake-
guys.
Jake the
Well, not
Dog.
these guys.
Jake the
They're
Dog,
dead.
yeah.
Marcus Phoenix in Gears of War.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's their resumes, their clock list or act, whatever you want to call it. They're in everything. Billy West is in everything. Yeah, he goes Fry. He's the professor. And then the other thing that you showed me on YouTube is on YouTube you can go and at some convention they read through.
Oh yeah, the Star Wars thing.
Wars?
Yeah, that was nuts.
Amazing. It is amazing.
Yeah, they go through an act. Like the act starts, Kevin Conroy doing his Batman voice is the narrator, and like the guy who's sort of just like hosting it, he just throws out characters for people to act and stuff, asking the audience and whatnot. Everybody gets the voice that they do. Kevin Conroy sets up the scene, and then they.
So it's like
act it
Vader
out.
is going to be Bubbles from Powerpuff Girls. Leia is going to be Pinky from Pinky and the Brain. And then
That's
they can go
cool.
through Chewbacca is going to be Bender. And Christopher Walken is going to be R2-D2. And that one's the best. It's like beep boop, beep boop, beep boop bop.
Oh, that's awesome.
My favorite ones.
Yeah, I gotta
my
watch
favorite
that
ones
whole thing
were
again. So good.
were the ones where what's his face, John DiMaggio was doing his Tracy Morgan impression.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I saw that bit. I saw that bit.
Well, I've also seen on that I Know That Voice documentary on Netflix, they say something like he's in this other group of guys who do
Like
this show about all black guys.
Like-
and
like the-
there's
the
3
best-
black guys and John DiMaggio. And if you see him, he's white as white. Like, you can't get whiter. And they're like, he sounds more black than I do.
Yeah, it's one of those
Tracy Morgan
guys.
was, like pretty on point.
It was beyond on point.
It's a very strange thing to hear. Yeah.
I'd be like, Tracy Morgan sucks at doing Tracy Morgan. John DiMaggio, get him in there. He's better.
Yeah. Tracy, we want you to do the face, but we're gonna dub over your voice.
We're gonna use John.
What,
The
you want to
guy
have me have
doing
like
your voice?
Yeah, exactly. What, you want to give me a robot voice or like an alien voice?
no.
No, we want your voice, just not from you. That'd be a hard day for Tracy Morgan.
What are you talking about? You say like that to my voice?
Monocle wearing motherfucker. Oh man. Kevin Smith, man. Cop Out.
Yeah. I still haven't seen it.
Really?
I can't bring myself to it.
Dude, I like that movie, man. I don't know, something about it to me, was just hysterical. All like the random jokes, like Sean William Scott's in prison and he's talking to this guy. He's like, "Why are you in here, man?" It's like this guy looks like he killed someone. He's like, "I knit sweaters, man." He's like, "Yeah, I knit the fuck out of a sweater." I was like, "What?" Just this guy in prison. That's his hobby. Come on.
All right, so
Yeah, Back to the Future. Very good, John Boy. We're going to have to get you on that part, Deuce, where he actually goes to the future and you can see what they thought.
Awesome.
Injustice, number 2, got a sweet video.
Yep.
And sweet it was.
totally.
Did you guys
Injustice
obviously saw everything? Yeah.
Injustice Deuce.
That Flash Superman going at it starts it off, and then when he puts on that special suit and you see that one extra tread in his boot, and you're just like, that's going to make him go faster.
Yeah, and it does make him go faster.
It's so good, and now they all have super suits.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then I watched a little bit of gameplay. Gorilla Grodd is in it.
Gorilla
Great.
Grodd, nice, nice.
We're going to talk about
Nice.
this in a little bit.
Nice.
He just almost made it to my top villains list, but
Really cool.
he would have been number 6. We only went till 5. He's number 6. But what were you saying about the Aquaman finish with the Black Manta?
Oh yeah, that wasn't even a finish. It was like one of the transitions when you fight on one map, you knock someone through, and then you fight on another part of the map. You like fly through some wall. You like fly through some water. He gets knocked through a wall and through some water. And Black Manta flies by, like lasers him and like knocks him into the other half of the map. And I thought it was cool seeing Black Manta in the video game. I thought he should have been in the first one.
Hell yeah. And we saw some Supergirl.
Supergirl.
Everybody else, I just like being.
Yeah, now she's a character.
Yep.
Speaking of which, Supergirl and Superman are going to be together on television, as well as now this game. What's his name? Tyler. I wrote it down. Not well.
Orchlin.
Horchlin. Anybody?
No, I don't know.
I don't remember him.
Anybody see his picture?
I looked up his IMDb. It was like Teen Wolf and some other shit.
He looks good, though. He really does look okay. I saw a picture. I could actually, if I find it, I'll post it, too. It was him and Henry Cavill, Ezra Miller, and Grant Gustin. And they all look good in their respective ways of...
Tyler
I could
Hoechlin.
I could see this guy being this Flash's Superman. And we'll see how that goes. And, we were talking about...
Yeah,
the
I can see it.
of-
Look at him.
He's got the jaw.
Let him shave, and he'll be fine.
The jaw is really all that counts.
Well, the thing, as far as what Superman goes, especially with the actors, he has to have that big, bushy, wavy hair.
Yeah. Good head of hair is what gets you Superman.
Brendan.
A good head of hair is what gets Superman on your dick. Brendan Fraser. He does have a nice head of hair.
He does. But this implication we were talking about, because as you may or may not know, Supergirl is not going to be on CBS anymore. It is going to WPIX, and it's going to be entering the entire Berlanti universe. So we've already seen one Supergirl, one Flash crossover. So now, if Supergirl and Superman are in the same scene and Flash happens to cross over, now we see Superman and Flash on the same fucking screen on television. Whoa. That'll be cool, considering in just, like, over a year, just about, we get Justice League, and no matter where you go, there's more. That's... What a time to be somebody who loves this shit. Yeah, I mean, I was just, I just thought to myself, I was scrolling through TV and turned it on, and it was Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron, Ant-Man, channel. 1, 2, 3, all on
Which one do I pick?
simultaneously. And I was just like, and I thought to myself, no, I didn't even think that. I was like, I don't want to watch any of those. And I just thought to myself, 12-year-old Nick would slap you right in the fucking face. Like, how dare you?
For me, I would have been like, all right, what point in the movie are these up? Because if it's towards the end, we're watching Civil War. Oh no, you said Ultron.
Back when I used to actually
Probably
have
still Ultron.
back when I used to actually have cable, one of the things that I know that, especially my brother does it, where you just have the thing on. When it goes to commercial, you just switch to the other channel and you just watch that until it goes to commercial. You switch to the other channel and just watch that until it goes to commercial.
Yeah, but those bastards are evil, and they know you did that, so now they all have commercials on at the same fucking time. Radio's figured it out, too.
Bastards. I think I hate it more with the radio because you'll switch stations and like nowadays all the stations play like the same 4 songs, so you can't escape that song no matter what station you go to.
Literally the other day I was going through 2 of them and it was the same song, and at first I thought I was like having an episode, or I was like, no fucking way, there's no way. Went back and forth, and usually when you hear it there's a difference. I
Same
swear
part.
to
They put it
God,
on at
it
the
was.
same
I
time.
swear somebody was sitting there went
You're pressing
and
the,
hit both buttons at the
You're
same
pressing
time.
the
It was
buttons like-
really, yeah. It was crazy.
am I losing my mind?
But just imagine, I mean, and then of course we'll throw Oliver in there, and then we can have Adam in there, and just we can really see a small screen Justice League. Because getting an Aquaman on there too, I like where they're going with Jason Momoa, but for this universe,
Bring
they
back,
can easily bring back what's his
Alan Richardson?
because he got his own pilot that's never seen the light of day.
Really?
Yeah, and they started something, and that looked really good. And yeah, just literally have a big buff blonde dude who likes to wear orange shirts.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be the king of Atlantis. You know, we could play that whole "I've got a secret identity." Like,
He was awesome, like, once again as one of the Turtles in the new Ninja Turtle movie.
but he was the one who got his voice booted for Johnny Knoxville, correct?
No, he's Raph.
He's Raph.
Raph in 1, he's still Raph in 2.
Who? What? Do you know anything about?
I don't know,
that?
but I know the guy was Leonardo, but then just the voice was Johnny Knoxville.
yeah.
For the second one, it's not Knoxville anymore. I don't know who the guy was.
That's so.
I don't know if they just brought
freaking
back
weird.
the original one from the first one. I didn't look into that.
I have,
I don't-
unfortunately, and I can't find an answer of what happened.
Yeah, I was upset watching the second one because I was expecting Johnny Knoxville again, and it wasn't. So I was
I really enjoy him because, like, the "Hello, ma'am" is the first line he says, and I'm just like, that's Johnny fucking Knoxville as a Leonardo. Like, that feels 2 separate things of childhood for me.
fuck yeah.
Because I would
Jackass.
literally go and do like shopping carts and go into bushes and stuff, and come home and watch Ninja Turtles. So it's literally like,
Also,
so weird.
thanks to Ninja Turtles and Oliver Queen. What's his face was
that
Casey
was Stephen
Jones.
Amell.
I did not like him.
No, why
and
not?
that's why, like, when you had posted the thing on the Glutton for Geekdom's page for Riddler, and I was just like, I can't see him in there. You know how when he's like fake happy Ollie, when
I haven't watched it in a while.
well, he's always like mad,
public face
he's just
Ollie.
like, he's just like Thea. He's like smiling.
Okay.
He was like that the whole movie as Casey Jones. It's just I couldn't buy into it. I don't know. Maybe it was just the acting. Maybe I just only like him the way he's like emo and like upset all the time as Oliver Queen.
That show's starting
I don't
to
like
fall-
his
fall off for me.
His happy side. I think it takes away from his acting. I don't like it. And he only used a hockey stick the whole movie. He was,
That's it?
he was like really cheesy. Only used a hockey stick. Did not have his bag full of goodies.
Bullshit.
Yep.
No. Oh, guys.
No bag full of
I think that
goodies.
just killed me from going to see it in the movies.
That sucks.
Thank you, Bebop and Rocksteady, but if you're going to bring Casey Jones and he doesn't hit you with more than one object,
The
like I
whole
would love,
movie-
even if it
the
was a
whole movie,
tennis racket.
he's like,
Yeah, where's
I
his fucking
I like
cricket bat?
hockey.
That's exactly, yeah. I just watched the beginning of that, and I love when he first meets Raph and the music, the boom, 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 and they're like circling each other. He's like, cricket, anybody? Yeah. So good. Why? Why wouldn't he have a bag full of stuff?
Yeah.
Have you seen TMNT?
The animated
The
one.
animated one?
I saw that one time, like on like cable or something. I remember it was pretty cool.
It is.
It was
And
solid. It
had
was
some
a
pretty
solid
good
movie.
It's
music,
solid.
I saw that in
And Casey
theaters.
Jones is really solid in that.
I saw it once. I don't remember it well, but I don't remember disliking it. I remember like after Finch, I was like, "Oh, that was pretty cool." Like I would watch it again, but I just never got around to it.
I enjoyed the whole thing. But now the other thing that I posted on the post is that the guy, the vigilante raw dog, very kind of took him out of the files. But he is basically Casey Jones. He's a guy who walks around in a hockey mask.
He's like a
and uses
vigilante.
whole
He's like a vigilante
sports master
cat.
kind of feel to him
You
too.
watch Freddy
there's-
Got Fingered?
Yeah.
Remember, he's like a vigilante. He's like a vigilante cat.
No, I watched that a while ago. No, I haven't seen it.
You gotta get some Tom Green up in your life.
No, thank you.
He's also past his prime.
He was past. Yeah, I don't want to talk about Tom Green.
I don't want to talk about his prime.
I think he was ahead of his time. I think
I think he was ahead of his prime.
because like look at people like Eric Andre, who's like really random. And it's like that kind of humor. Like Andy Milonakis, I feel is another one was ahead of his time. I feel like now that kind of humor, people get it more. At that time, it was just like retarded. I don't remember like
Retarded.
I didn't like Andy Milonakis that much when it first came out. But then like as I got older and like I watched reruns, I was like, this is fucking great.
His show was great.
But yeah,
All right. So what we decided
we
to do,
didn't, we didn't think Adam Levine,
Mike.
Mike Levine.
Adam Levine is a famous person.
I knew that.
Yeah,
Thanks, Adam Levine.
guys,
For making your
you didn't
music.
notice we have a very awesome intro, and that was written all by Mike Levine, like the whole thing. I know a
We just
friend who
gave him some
introduced
pointers.
me.
That's it.
Barely, yeah. We just kind of said this is what we talk about, and so I know Roy, who was on the Kevin Smith episode.
Mm-hmm.
He introduced me to Mike. I've known Mike since high school. And dude, I remember going to his house in high school, and he just had all the recording stuff. So he's been doing this. I was
For
in high
years.
school from 04 to 08, so even if it was at the end of high school, it's still coming up on a decade. You know, he's got all that experience under his belt. And we said, you know, would you be interested? He says, I'm writing music all the time, and I'd freaking love to. And it was just a great experience. And like we said, this is what we talk about. And he came back and, is it going to have lyrics? He said, I don't really know. What do you want them to be? And I don't know, man. You go for it. And just freaking did an amazing job. You enjoy it, sir?
Yes, I do. I'm sorry, I'm just distracted by this Legend of Tarzan.
Legend of Tarzan,
so-
yeah, that looks
For a
really
second,
good.
I thought Tarzan was Macaulay Culkin. They only show his face from the side. I was like, what the fuck is Macaulay Culkin doing?
He's
When did
actually-
he get so buff?
He's actually the guy from True Blood.
Alex Skarsgård.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike Levine.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike Levine.
Very nice.
Thank
guy.
you, Adam Levine, too.
Yeah.
I do enjoy Beauty Queens.
Yeah.
No, not really.
Okay. So the reason I was going to say the reason we are gathered here today, but that sounded a little cultish.
The reason we are gathered
Decided
here
to talk
today.
about today is something that we were talking about for a while, and it's we were going to talk some lists and then combat
Opinions.
because me and Mr. John Boy eventually in this talk are going to have a bone to pick with one another, and it might get ugly. So just be prepared.
All right, so we've got top superheroes, top villains, top movies, and top bottom movies. That's 5. Just 5 for each list.
Superhero movies.
Superhero movies.
movies, yes.
Yes, superhero movies. So, do we want to start with the heroes, or do we want to start with the movies?
But that's on my list. I went movies, but that's here or there. It doesn't really matter.
All right, let's start from the bottom movies. What do you got, John?
What's your number one worst movie? Your phone died. Your list
Number
is gone.
Number five.
You guys go first. Hold on, let me get some juice on my phone.
Juice on your phone.
So wait, number 5. Like we're going 5 is the
We're going to start with the one that we like the most
in terms of liking the least. Okay, so mine is Amazing Spider-Man 2.
That's your least.
Least hated of the
I
5.
can just talk on his while this is loading.
Okay, and then I have my number 5 is Hulk.
The Eric Bana one.
Eric Bana one.
Do you remember yours off the top of your head?
I think Iron Man 3.
Oh, so we're going to start with the fight right away.
Like
It's the least one,
because I think
but
everything
still.
else I disliked more. Like that's how much like Iron Man 3 wasn't the worst on my worst list, you know.
But it's still on
But
your
it,
worst.
but it,
It is
made,
on my worst.
it made it
That
there.
movie's good though. That's where I had like why
Fucking
do
fuck you,
hate it
John.
so much.
It was just like it was around that time where people were like blowing up Robert Downey Jr. like he was like the greatest thing ever. So they made him so quippy and annoying in that movie, and just like so sassy. He was annoying to me throughout like the whole movie. The villain, for a while, I was excited for Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin. I liked all his lines. When that trailer first came out that year, that was my most anticipated movie. I got done with it. I was just like, what the fuck did I just watch? They shat on Ben Kingsley the whole time. Like Iron Man's walking. It was his version of Iron Man what was it? Dark Knight Rises, where he's not Iron Man throughout like half of the movie. He's just walking around in the snow with a little kid who's also just as annoying as Robert Downey Jr. And on top of that, the movie was long.
Robert
just-
Downey Jr. is not annoying.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Come
Fuck
on.
you. He's not annoying.
I find him annoying sometimes. Like I like
Punch you in
and
the
I don't
dick.
like him because I loved him in Tropic Thunder. You know, it's not that I don't like Robert. I feel like they just overdo Tony Stark sometimes.
That's who Tony Stark is. He's an over the top guy.
Yeah, but isn't he also like mopey in the comics and like an alcoholic?
Yeah, he was mopey in this. He had PTSD.
Yeah.
That was another thing.
He continued to have
You told me that that's what
PTSD.
you wanted because he wasn't that in the comics, and now all of a sudden,
No, it was just like the way it was done.
He's that for the entire time you see him on screen for every movie that he's in.
He killed like his own like almost father figure-ish type in the first movie, but all of a sudden he fights aliens and he's got PTSD.
dude, he went into a black hole in space.
Yeah.
You can wrap your head like around killing your father fight type. I mean, that's always kind of been around. But wrapping your head into going into a different dimension of space and throwing an A-bomb in it to save the world from alien invasion, how long would that take you to get into your, like, okay, I understand this now.
But this is also coming off of him. This is also coming off of him just being the guy who's creating weapons that's killing tons and tons of people all around the world. Now he's changed. He's changing his life, but his weapons.
Like the first one.
But his weapons are still doing that though. He's still trying to do that.
And it showed how mentally unstable he was from the very beginning. So for him just to break
he
down,
was crying in that one, and then he was crying in the new one.
all he
crying in
wanted was a
Civil War.
hamburger and shit.
Yeah, I don't buy it. I thought it was.
All right. My contention is that I understand that they made a risky move in that Mandarin thing, and I think they pulled it off because they got their terrorist Mandarin, and they could still play the real ring-bearing guy. Because if you've ever seen, like, I don't remember where it was, but there is an extra scene of Ben Kingsley in prison.
This is such a shitty scene.
And he's all, yay, oh my god, I'm so British and everything. And they're like, come on, do it. Do the Mandarin. All the other person's like, do it. And he's like, okay, students, do you want to learn another lesson? And they're all like, yeah. Anyway, so it goes on. And he gets threatened. And they're like, the real Mandarin is like fucking pissed off at you for using his name. Like, how dare you? And I don't think he dies, but he comes close to it. So they're alluding to the fact that there is still a real Mandarin.
What was that guy's name
Do I
again?
need to
Wasn't
turn
his
this
name?
off?
Wasn't his name just like?
I mean,
Guy?
okay.
What was
So
that guy's name?
Ben Kingsley?
No, the other guy. What was his name in the movie?
Trevor. Trevor something.
No. The actual bad guy.
Killian.
Aldrich
something.
Killian.
Aldrich Killian. I don't think all the stuff that you brought up, Nick, is awesome and cool, but I'm not going to sit there and wait for another Iron Man movie to see that play out.
Why? They're gonna do it anyway.
I don't care.
Yeah. The coolest thing to me about
I mean,
that
the
movie
thing that they're-
was seeing all the suits, because that was for me like watching the cartoon. I like loved all the suits, like all the different things that they did, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, all the suits!" And then he blows them up, and I was like, "Why? Why put them in storage? Like do fucking anything."
He had to
else
show
with that.
Pepper that he loved her.
I mean,
For them to take a break in
Look at
Civil War anyway.
Look at it this way. Our Captain America 3 was just like another like Avengers movie. I'm not going to sit there and watch I'm not going to sit there and watch an Iron Man 4 and it be about Iron Man, one of his villains that I just don't care about.
Why don't you care about the Mandarin?
Because they dropped the ball with him in Iron Man 3. I was like, okay, well.
But that's
fuck.
what I'm saying. They played a card, but not fully. They don't have to go back to that at all.
I don't want to sit there and wait for another. I don't want to sit there and wait for another Iron Man movie to get the Mandarin. I'm over here sitting waiting. I'm waiting for Thanos. That's what I'm waiting for.
That's true.
I'm not going to sit there and wait for a Mandarin
They're
when
making
Thanos
us
is
wait.
right around
We
the
know
corner.
he's
I
coming,
think they
but-
should. I don't think they should make another one, another Iron Man.
No, they
I think
shouldn't.
they should leave it as trilogy for him, trilogy for Cap, trilogy for Thor.
And I don't even think that Cap had a trilogy. I think like it's Captain America 1, Captain America 2, then
Yeah, and then Avengers 2.5.
there you go.
2.5, very good.
2.5.
All right, so that was right off the bat. I don't like Amazing Spider-Man 2 because I feel like they fell into the same trap that Spider-Man 3 fell into of let's try to shove 3 different villains in here. I enjoy the one iconic moment of Emma Stone falling in the web and the back break.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gwen Stacy's
just the
death.
imagery.
There you go. Gwen Stacy's death.
Just
like
the imagery is
Yeah,
beautiful.
I like that. Because I went, like, before the movie came out in theater, I read those issues when that happened.
When we
It was great the way they
when we
did
saw
that.
when we saw it in theaters and stuff. There wasn't like everybody in audible. When she died, she's like.
You don't kill Emma Stone.
Some people
man.
didn't.
Everybody knew it was coming though. Everybody knew it was coming, but it's just the way it happened. Just because she didn't really hit, it was
It
just.
was that neck.
It was all in the wrist.
It's all in the
wrist.
hips.
Yeah. So I like that, but I just think that they dropped the ball. I don't know. They just
That was a
it
terrible
didn't-
movie.
It's
go catch a spider.
It was a terrible movie.
I just So what was yours? Hulk. Why
Who else
why
was,
is Hulk
who else was
that
the
far
villain in that
down?
one?
There's Paul Giamatti as Rhino.
Rhino.
Whack.
Jamie Foxx as Electro, and then they
Whack.
turned the Chronicle
Could have been cool,
Kid.
but I thought was whack.
Then
When
turned
they
the
were
Chronicle
first showing
Kid into the Green
yeah,
Goblin.
another one, he was whack. I was excited for him. I liked him as Harry,
Yeah.
but once he like became like a
With the ears
weird,
and the weird-
creepy
man,
elf,
fuck all
like,
that
I
noise.
didn't like
Yeah.
it.
Don't like anything about that flick, and I'm happy now that we got our Tom Holland, and I'm excited to see where that's going because even Andrew Garfield made a comment.
I did
like,
not want
I
to see
didn't feel
more
like-
Paul Giamatti.
No.
I did not, and I like Paul Giamatti, but I did not want to see
Not as
more
that
of him
with
as
the weird
Rhino.
freaking barbed wire tattoo
Yeah.
across his head and
That was
shit.
in his sweatsuit, just like angry and sweaty. No.
And if anything, that's the fight I really wanted to see was him versus a giant machine. Like that'd be cool.
Yep. But
No.
instead, that was the last 2 seconds of the fucking movie.
Yeah.
That movie was garbo.
Oh, there is that really funny scene. Like, so there's that at the very end, just the imagery, minus the Green Goblin. But there's a time, so he's late for his high school graduation, which I thought was nice. And Emma calls him, or Gwen Stacy calls him, like, where are you? And he's sticking to the front of a car, and he's like, I'm at 3rd and Broadway, 4th and Broadway, 5th and Broadway, 6th and Broadway, as it's speeding down. I was like, okay, that's again what I liked about Tom Holland, of like,
I like that. I
caught
like
the bus and
I
made
like
the paper and stuff.
One of the things
like
about the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2, I like the little kid like standing up to
yeah,
him,
yeah.
and then the real Spider-Man shows up.
I got this.
I thought that was cool.
Agreed. But no, fuck that movie.
I have Hulk.
Hocus.
I love the shit out of Hulk. The Incredible Hulk.
The character.
The character. I was 100% fine with the movie. It started falling off when they had the mutant dogs. I'm like, what are you guys doing? It's perfectly good. And then they bring it back for me a little bit with him like fighting the military and stuff. That's what I want to see. That's what I think really like sells a Hulk for me, especially in that movie. When he's fighting the tanks and stuff, he just lands from the sky. He's over here football charging the tank. Boom, hits it.
Throwing the tanks at airplanes and
At
helicopters
airplanes and stuff. Rips the top of the tank off and he's like, yeah! Just a big fucking like angry Jack dude just getting all like monster about whatever the fuck he's doing at that one moment right there. And then Nick Nolte was in the movie.
He was also in Tropic Thunder.
Fuck Nick Nolte. Nick Nolte was in the movie.
Nick Nolte.
Nick Nolte was in the movie. Every scene, like, it was a serious movie. Every scene that he was in, I couldn't take the movie serious anymore. I don't think he really did much for the movie.
No.
And then he got those weird powers, and then he turned to a storm cloud at the very end. It was as if Nick Nolte in that movie went out of his fucking way to tear down a solid Hulk movie minus the dogs. If the dogs weren't in there and Nick Nolte wasn't in the movie, I would have been fine with it. Sure, everybody says that Hulk didn't look too good, but I'm like, okay, well,
for the time,
I was fine. I was fine with him.
For the time,
the CGI.
We could have got away with it looking shitty as long as it was a good movie.
Yeah. And then they actually tried to make him look dirty, as if he'd been through shit. He comes out of the fucking sewer and stuff, covered in grime. He's like, just like slaps that shit off of his body and just slams the ground. The only thing that Hulk says is puny human in a dream, and then boom.
In a dream.
I'm okay with bad visual effects. I told you I watched Doctor Who. If you ever watched like when they first bring it back in like the early 2000s with Chris Eccleston, it was so low budget. The CGI was awful, but it doesn't take away from it being a good show. You know, they could have done
as long as the story's there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys brought it up before. Like, I think the last time we got together, you guys watched the Hulk on TV, and you had that shitty dude.
I was talking about that to people for like a week after. I was like, "When was the last time you watched Hulk?" That had some of the worst editing I've ever seen. It was so
I tell you, yeah.
Ugly,
I try to watch
movie.
it at least once a year just to be like, did it change? Do I like it now? And I just don't.
You know which one I have to
That's
rewatch?
number 2
Well,
on
actually,
my
no.
list.
I'm actually fine with them. Like when they finally capture him and they bring him to the base, and they just do that cutting to where they're just get him in there, helicopter to this own thing, and they bring him into the base, and then boom, they just do it on one screen. You watch that, you could see it going, and then good, fine. When he escapes, that douchebag.
The explosion.
Executive dude, he explodes and then it just cuts him out. I'm like, okay, well,
that's really bad.
I didn't mind it so much as the mutant dogs and Nick Nolte in the entire time. I mean, like if they didn't have those two things in there, I could have looked past that and it just been Hulk just
you
going.
Hear that, Nick Nolte? Retire. Bobby Deuce wants to retire.
If I see Nick Nolte, I'm gonna drop kick him in the chest. If he doesn't drop kick me first,
I'm gonna say this is number 2 on my list. The Hulk jumps really high and really far. Mm-hmm. And I like that. As the Hulk gets madder, his mass increases. I like that.
Yeah.
There's nothing else about this movie that I can really stomach.
Yeah.
Everything that you brought up is dogs and clouds and really, really long. And did I like watching him destroy tanks? Yeah, but that was like 5 minutes, and
I remember
like
when those
10-hour movie.
when the trailers were coming out for that one.
Yeah,
it was like really quiet. Him just like in his apartment, and then he just like his eyes turned green, and you're just like, oh man, this trailer is awesome. And the movie came out, and it was let down.
The thing is, I'm fine with the character not being that character for a good portion of the movie, especially if it's the first movie that he's in. That's fine with me. They did his backstory. It took a good portion of his backstory was just the opening, and then you see when shit fucks up, and then he becomes a Hulk, and you never see him.
Did they do it again in Incredible Hulk? Did they give you his backstory?
A little bit, but he was already the Hulk.
Okay.
He's already been established as transforming into the Hulk. Okay. In this movie, the first scene he transforms into the Hulk is the first time he transforms into the Hulk.
Okay. Yeah. Now I was wondering if like.
No,
they pull
a
Batman and they just like just keep giving us the
the
origin.
No.
It's in the credits, the opening credits. You see like the laser go over, and then you get like a POV of what he looks like what the Hulk looks like for the first time, and he sees Betty all there fucked up, and the Ross guy going, "Holy shit!" Like.
The reason why it's not so far down on my list is because it has a good cast. They're all solid actors.
Very true.
And any scene where it's not just straight action, it's good acting. I see like Jennifer Connelly in that movie just emote her ass off, where she's over here just recording a message to Bruce, and she's over here stammering on the phone. I'm just like, wow, this is some good acting for a fucking Hulk movie, for a comic book movie. Like what you were saying,
pre-Marvel Studios.
like-
yes, like what you were saying before
You
with
like Bruce Banner, Eric Bana?
Eric Bana over Edward Norton any day.
Really?
I have
Norton.
my number 4, the one that I like less, is Hulk with Norton in it. Edward Norton he's a solid actor, but I think Eric Bana sold a better Bruce Banner to me.
True.
Just as the guy who's
Sometimes I can see that.
because this is this in my opinion, Eric Bana pulled off a Bruce Banner who's first becoming the Hulk better than Edward Norton pulled off a Bruce Banner who's been the Hulk for a while.
One more about number 4, and then we'll go to our number 4s. Like, why is... Because I actually really like the Incredible Hulk movie.
I like the Incredible
Not
Hulk.
really, it's not on my top 5, but and it's probably not even in my top 10, but...
I like the Incredible
like it.
Hulk, but anytime he's not the Hulk, I would want to skip to when he is the Hulk.
Gotcha.
Because I don't like Liv Tyler.
Oh, I don't like...
I don't like
Tyler either.
the guy who plays Ross. I'm like, okay, well,
Is it the general?
Yeah.
the General Ross. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. Like, whenever the Hulk is not the Hulk, the people who are in the scenes should be acting phenomenally.
And it doesn't always make it there.
Yeah.
Especially not with Liv Tyler.
Especially not Liv Tyler.
Liv Tyler's just whispering.
I'm not going to call myself the biggest Liv Tyler fan, but
like
I told
Lord
you
of the
guys
Rings?
earlier I liked her in Lord
Where
of the
she
Rings.
plays an elf,
Yeah.
and if an elf whispers all the time, it makes them seem...
She kind of like whispers like that elvish stuff,
And a little
and then they put the
older and
effects on it,
wiser,
and magic
yeah.
happens. It's cool.
So I see why that doesn't bother you.
Yeah.
But when she talks like this all the time, Bruce, fuck you.
Wait, she just like whispers throughout the
Watch
whole Incredible
any
Hulk movie.
Liv Tyler movie and she's whispering. Same with Jim Caviezel.
That's true.
Jim Caviezel can't stop whispering.
Jim Caviezel.
Oh my god.
Wait, is that
Jesus.
Yep.
Jesus?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about fucking Littlefinger.
No, it's
No.
Jesus.
No, it's Jesus, and he's on this other show that my pop
Well, I
likes.
mean, the guy who plays Littlefinger whispers effectively.
Whispers.
And that's more of his character, whereas just
Yo,
turn
it
on
blew my
any Liv
mind
Tyler
watching
Jim
Dark
Caviezel.
Knight Rises, and he was in it. Littlefinger was in Dark Knight Rises.
Yes.
I was watching it the other day. I was like, "What the fuck
What are you
is this
doing in
guy
here,
doing
man?"
here, man?" Yep.
What's your number 4 then?
Who was he in Dark Knight Rises?
He was on the airplane right in the beginning when they're bringing Bane on the airplane.
Oh shit! Yeah,
He was the
okay.
one with he was shooting the gun, having their heads out the window.
Yeah.
Perhaps he's wondering why you would shoot a man before
Talking
throwing him
about
out
the
of a plane.
plane. I was just wondering why you would shoot a man before throwing him out of a plane.
For number 4,
before
I
we-
have Hulk on there.
Yeah, before 4
4 is my Hulk.
Yeah.
4 is your Hulk?
Before we go on to that, I would like to
Four is
also
my Hulk,
one
and
thing
Hulk is my
that
four.
one thing that I also hated about it is that I liked how Hulk looked like Edward Norton. I didn't like how he was always professional wrestler wet the entire fucking time he was on screen.
He loses. He's
And then, like, you could
ready to go.
For whatever reason, you can just see every fucking ripple on his body.
Every strand
He's like,
is-
well, I'm like,
yeah.
okay, stop it, get out of here, fuck you.
sweaty.
So I'm just like, okay, in the scenes where he's not the Incredible Hulk, Edward Norton is the one who's selling the acting. In the scenes where he is the Incredible Hulk, I don't like looking at him.
That's why it's on your list.
Yes.
So Eric Bana's Hulk is your number 5, your number 4,
Yeah.
and my number 2. So overall, we can say, as Gluttons for Geekdom, that movie is a stinker.
Yep. Totally bunko.
Yeah. So my number 4 is Origins Wolverine. I really don't like that flick.
There's certain movies that like you guys
That's
are
my number 1 worst movie.
there's
Is it?
certain-
Nice.
you guys are throwing out there, then I'm just like, it's not on my list because it just seems so obvious. Like
Yeah.
it's a Wolverine movie, and it just the thing is it just didn't sell
But-
on it. Like Wolverine's such an awesome character. It should be an easy movie to write. He's been in other X-Men movies, and it's been good.
What bothers me is that there are good parts about it where you're like, why didn't you do that more? Like the opening credits with him and his brother going through all the wars.
Yeah, that was
Let's
cool.
see a
that
lot
was cool.
of
And
that.
I really liked Leaf Schreiber.
Yeah, he was an excellent Sabretooth.
Good.
Another person that way back when brought up was like, okay, you have Liev Schreiber being an excellent Sabretooth, and then you see the first X-Men movie with that Sabretooth, and he's just some fucking like throwaway
He was just some
dude.
goon, yeah.
Where, at what point in time did he lose such an awesome personality?
Yeah, he was just like,
But when did he grow the ability to like the fingernails in and out, like Meg from Family Guy? She gets superpowers. Yeah. Ow! That hurt. Is that bleeding?
No, it's
No,
not.
but oh. So that was really good. The scene where he's playing with his claws in the bathroom, fucking up the bathroom, is like, why, guys? What's going on here?
oh, and like the old guy's house.
Yeah. What is going on? And they also look just so incredibly fake there too. Then he goes ahead and takes down a helicopter and you're like, cool, lights a cigar, walks away from a dying man,
Explosion.
sets his claws on fire that makes the spark that blows up a helicopter, and you're like, okay, that was really good. And then, like, you go back down, and they're introducing characters who aren't really characters. Like, Emma Frost is in that movie. Cyclops is in that movie. Storm is somewhere in that movie. Like, they're throwing a lot of weird references, and then, you know, there's the biggest fuck-up.
That's an odd thing for you to bring up.
Deadpool.
The odd thing for you to bring up because going back to Apocalypse, where they named so many characters, but they didn't do anything with them.
At least they said that they were who they were and gave them, like, Storm didn't do anything in terms of, like, awesomeness, but she had a thing that connected to her wrist and she flew. In this one, she was just a girl in a village who kind of walked away, but they were like, that's definitely Storm. And, you know, Cyclops doing stuff like him running around the high school. We saw a better version of that, and
Like the whole thing is what I'm saying is that don't name a character if you're not gonna like throwing Storm in a movie and not having her do something, but telling me she's going to be in a movie. So I'm going to be expecting her to do something awesome, and she doesn't do anything awesome. Well, then now I'm let down. Whereas you throw in a movie, and regardless of whether or not you told me about her, she's in the movie and she doesn't do anything awesome. Whatever. I mean, I didn't know she was going to be in there, and she doesn't do anything. I guess that's the reason why they didn't tell me she was going to be in there.
I would just say don't do it at all. That's his own scratch something that doesn't itch.
Yeah, I was excited for Jubilee, and we see where that went.
She keeps going nowhere. Poor
Yeah.
girl.
Poor girl.
And then
I'm never
we
excited
talked
for
about
Jubilee.
A freaking Deadpool.
Even like okay, yeah. Oh, Deadpool.
You know,
Fuck
what they
his
did with
fucking
that at
face.
the end. And
Also, I
loved...
wanted to point out how throughout the movie his claws changed lengths.
Oh, yeah. Those
Wolverines.
claws are just horrendous during the entire thing.
Wolverines.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. They look different. They get...
I remember like before I watched like the actual cut, I watched like there was like a bootleg cut that came out, which it wasn't like bootleg like recorded out of theater. It was like an early version before they like finished all the CGI, and it was so much worse than watching it actually. Oh my god! You should try and find that version. It's probably around somewhere because that was a lot of
Is
people
it
had
this
seen
funny?
that look. Yeah, exactly. Because like. You know, like there's like the truck with all the wooden logs on
Yeah.
it in the one scene. That was all just like horrible, just like brown sticks. It was great. Sometimes the claws look like weird and clunky when he's looking at his own claws. Oh, great bootleg.
But we were talking about the opening, and they go through the wars, and very subtly, they do the back-to-back. And when they're taking on Deadpool, they bring up that small little detail again to fight him.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I was like... Why didn't you guys just cut out everything in between, write a better movie, and have this not be Deadpool? Like, have the same kind of thing where they're working together, they have to split up, and just so many missed opportunities.
I was just watching Deadpool last
Stinker.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah,
night. He
what,
looks at the action figure of Deadpool from
Yes.
Origins. Oh my god.
So good.
what the fuck happened with Deadpool in that movie?
Who knows?
What were they doing with him?
Who knows who sat down and approved that? I really don't understand it.
I don't remember him having
It's
laser
funny if they
eyes
just
and
did it on purpose.
shinky arms
Like they were
and shit.
like
Let's fuck with
the
them?
people who were writing it were just like they secretly actually hate people like us and they hate those movies. But like,
This'll piss 'em
it was all
off.
part of their plan. Like they got in there, they were like, "Yeah, you can make this movie," and then they're like,
He was huge at the time, so
and then they just shit on it.
let's make a shitty Wolverine movie to fuck with him.
So that's my number 4. Your number 1. It's not on your list.
No.
So as Gluttons for Geekdom, it's a 2 for 3 stinker.
Well, I would say it's a 3 for 3 because I think it was too bad for me to even put it on my worst movies list.
It was too obvious. So yeah, no, good point.
I like that motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
Number 3 for me is Green Lantern.
I went with Daredevil.
Daredevil.
That's both your number 3s.
Mm-hmm.
See, now we're gonna have to have another fight because I like Daredevil. It's. How about we say this? If there was a list where this list intersected with favorites, it would be in the middle. I don't like it, but I don't hate it either, and I will sit and watch it.
I would say over the years, it's
Grown on me more.
no, it's
For me.
For me, over the years, I'm just
Deteriorated more.
Really?
I'm just like I watched the movie and it might be one of those movies that I can sit there and I can watch and maybe enjoy. Mm-hmm. Like okay, this is some nice fighting and stuff, but like the scenes where the scenes that aren't like action packed, I'm just like, okay, whatever, all right, cool, whatever. Point A to point B sort of deals.
Yeah.
2 names: Michael Clark Duncan
Awesome.
and Kevin Smith is in it. So it has me for that.
I did like Michael Clark Duncan as
Oh,
Kingpin. I completely forgot about that part.
He's awesome.
Voice.
He was fucking
Oh.
awesome, man.
I was
Kevin
like,
Smith was in it.
He's the coroner who gives the news reporter the stick, his walking stick and his
I don't
blade
remember.
stick.
the whole thing is like,
Yeah,
like
Kevin Smith is in it.
I can't
and
give-
he wrote
I-
for
I
Daredevil,
can't-
so it's a nice nod.
I can't give a movie any credit for having good actors in it if they're not. If the movie sucks and they have people in there that oh man, Kevin Smith is in this movie. Too bad the movie sucks.
I think.
Very true.
Like Michael Clark Duncan was in this movie and he does a great job.
Too bad it sucks.
Yeah.
it is rough.
It's a mark against the person who was in the movie and not
That's
towards
like
the
exactly
movie
what we
for
just said
them being
about
in it.
Wolverine. You know, with like Leaf Schreiber.
Leaf Schreiber was in it. You had Will.i.am. His character was awesome. Then he gets this whole scene where he gets like
The
Leaf Schreiber's
spine,
like,
yeah.
"Ah," I'm like, ooh, that's pretty fucking
They
vicious.
killed Will.i.am, man.
Too bad. And it had Gambit in it.
Not a good one.
Not a good one,
They
but
shot on that guy too.
they had Gambit.
Forgot about that. That was a big.
How do you
letdown.
throw Gambit in the movie and then the movie sucks?
Like at
altogether?
that time, like I wasn't too into Deadpool, so like hearing that Deadpool was in the movie, I was like, that's cool. Like, you know, I like seeing more characters. But when they said Gambit was in the movie, I'm like, all right,
Yes.
hell yeah,
And he hasn't been in an X-Men movie since.
and wow,
And Channing Tatum's got pushed back, I think.
really.
So we're going to wait longer. I think that for me personally, it has some defendable points.
With
Since Charlie
Daredevil?
Cox has came along, it has been beat down further.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm pretty much getting at. Like if
I have seen the
it's
light.
far
There is
too
better
it's far too
Daredevil.
campy. It's far too campy, and as the years go on, they're doing
Colin
much better.
Farrell.
Fucking fuck that.
We all grabbed our foreheads at the same time. Yeah. But him freaking killing that old lady with the peanut, I was like, oh, that's fucking evil, man. Like,
Wasn't he like on the airplane or something?
yeah,
Like that?
and but he and then killing the other
was
guy
pretty
with the
funny.
paper
He might have been the
clips.
best part of that movie.
I think the best part about that movie was Ben Affleck selling Daredevil's chin.
I thought you were gonna say Ben Stiller. I was like,
I was about to say Ben Stiller, but Ben Affleck selling Daredevil's chin. I was like, I can get behind
like
this
the
guy's
suit.
cin.
I like,
was cool.
I like the
He
the
looked
red
good.
suit. Yeah, it looked
Yeah.
really good. And his little his pole, like his sticks with the little devil on it, like awesome look. I liked all the scenes where he was like hugging the crucifix on top of the church, like in the rain.
The
It had,
opening
like,
scene, yeah,
those
that's-
monologues and stuff. Cool, but
It was cool watching
I
him.
even
It
liked
was
his
cool
origin
watching him on
story in
screen.
that, too. That's another thing that I like.
better than
They pulled it
can't
off
see.
well. Yeah.
I can't see.
No, because I also like the way they did his vision. Like when he first wakes up, he hears the shoo, and all it is the IV.
Yeah.
And like he's looking all around and he can't see and shit's
Just the
coming at him.
cars.
But then it's the
Yeah.
church bell, the dung, and that's what he sees. I was like, oh, they did that pretty
that was
fucking
pretty
cool.
cool.
I really enjoy that. So that's your guys'. Mine is Green
Oh,
Lantern.
once again, like I said, I don't fuck with Jennifer Garner
Neither do I.
and Evanescence in that movie. When she's like, I'm Elektra now, and they start playing Wake Me Up. It's like,
Did any of you guys see that Electra movie?
I saw it one time.
I saw it one time.
I saw it one time. The only thing I could actually pull away from that movie is the ninja snapping his own neck just by turning his head around.
He was in the Key and Peele skit, man. it's Keegan.
Like he fully turns his head. He does a 180 with his head he just like standing there. She's got him, and he's like, "No, I'm killing myself." Crack, and just turns his head around. I'm like, "What the fuck just happened there? How's that even physically possible?" I like that. That's it. I remember there's a movie, and I remember that happening, and then that's it.
I just remember the guy with the tattoos, and I was like, "That's kind of cool."
I don't remember.
I
I remember the girl who would walk and like the flowers would die around her.
He had like a bird.
I remember The
and
Rock as a Scorpion
crawl
King.
out of him, and like it would see them, and then it'd come back in and sink back on, and it was kind of cool until like he just had hordes of snakes on him, and he just went, and there was just a shit ton of. It's like, it's pushing it. Sasuke. Oh, and then he had like a wolf. He had this sick wolf chest piece, pretty much the size of my T-shirt right now. And I would chase people around. That was kind of that's pretty cool.
It was interesting, yeah.
But no, it doesn't redeem the movie. Stick is in it, the same guy who's in the Charlie Cox Daredevil.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
You see the whole training camp. Oh, the little girl that's in it?
Yeah, I remember The Rock as a Scorpion King. Oh no!
I'm gonna get that bracelet. Scorpion King bracelet.
And just walk wearing around.
Bracelet of Anubis.
Like Ghostface Killer.
I'm just getting RZA's fists from Man with Iron Fists. Boom.
Enough about the Wu-Tang Clan and The Rock. Where were we?
Green
Number
Lantern,
3,
I think.
Green Lantern.
Oh,
yes.
number 3.
I really hate
Almost
Green
made it
Lantern.
on there, but I only watched it one time,
Good.
so I don't remember how bad it was.
Lucky
that well.
you. It's bad. It's bad. This might be my one for you.
I was cool.
Might be too obvious.
I was cool that Ryan Reynolds as Hal Jordan.
I was okay with it.
Everything
'Cause
else.
That's just because I like Ryan Reynolds. Like for some reason, everybody's like he plays the same guy and everything, and I know he plays the same guy and everything. But for me, that kind of humor.
Maybe
For Hal Jordan, like, do you want that kind of humor for Hal Jordan? Maybe.
Not as far as they pushed it.
True. I just watched Van Wilder.
But
Imagine him in a green mask.
But I mean, like, look at it this way. This is the guy who first becomes the Green Lantern. He's not jaded by all the shit that's happened to him after he's been the Green Lantern for a while.
But he's an experienced fighter pilot.
Now getting crazy ass superpowers.
Yeah, I'm just saying. He from what I've read and from what I've heard, there wasn't really ever a script ready for this movie. Mm-hmm. So I think that they were relying heavily on him, and he almost had to write some of his own stuff. Because, all right, guys, let's take these pants off and fly some planes. Like, come on. That's not, like, hard. Like, that's not quippy. That's not funny.
It's just not good.
Yeah,
It's
it's
bad
just
writing.
trying to be funny for the sake of wanting to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a smart ass answer. It's just bad. So that's where it set me off. I think Oa looked okay.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that they at least tried Kilowog. They at least tried Tomare. Sinestro was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He pulled it off, and
Mm-hmm.
I was really excited. At the end, their post-credit scene was him getting the yellow ring, and I was like, "Fucking A!"
Yeah.
Hopefully, they could save this because their big bad guy is, I want to say Skrillex, but I know it's not DJ Skrillex. It's name check anybody?
You're right there with it. It's the name
Skrillex. It's something fucking
Skrillex.
close.
Skrillex.
It is, and they
Yellow Cloud Man.
Yeah, and they did he got the Galactus treatment where they really couldn't figure out how to simplify him enough for a general audience. So made him a cloud with an evil head.
Yeah.
And it was very predictable and just no heart. Just no heart in it. Did not seem like a Green Lantern movie. It seemed like they're like, well, we got the Van Wilder kid, slap a CGI suit on him, get that hot girl, and let's see what we got.
And also,
Put it in a blender and poo came out.
Throw
I also
some
think it was,
CGI on it.
a bad touch for when he first uses his Green Lantern powers and he just kills 3 dudes. outright. Like, oh, I'm Green Lantern. And
Boom,
3 dudes
just
die.
giant fist. And
3 dudes just die. They're dead.
and I think
This guy's supposed to be a superhero?
yeah, I like the race car thing that they did because I enjoy the weird shit that he makes. You know, and I think they did it really good in Justice League War, which is right off the new 52 Justice League #1 and stuff.
Yeah.
He makes like a locomotion and trains, and you know, when he does baseball bats and stuff like that, it's really cool because that if you had to catch something soft, a baseball mitt, oven mitt, something like that, you know, it's just a good human reaction to a need, and I think it's just cool, you know.
Yeah.
Instead of just making blocks or whatever, or a cage, or and when he saves the girl, it's an elevator. Why? Because people ride an elevator. She's used to go. It's just so I thought that kind of try was there, but overall stinker for me.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, I would see that because he's a character that you want to see on screen and it lets you down.
It let me down so hard.
Yeah.
Word.
I think that we're gonna take a break
Okay.
because we've been going really good. So we're gonna finish up our worst movies. We're gonna finish up our best movies, and then we're gonna go to our favorite characters and our favorite villains.
Yes.
For next time, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed. Please come back.
This has been Gluttons for Geekdom.
Nick James.
Bobby Deuce.
Bobby Deuce. I mean, John.